Welcome to my Action Research virtual poster presentation. The problem for my action research is that students with multiple exceptionalities face barriers in school, as teachers may not focus on their specific needs such as social skills. As a result, students diagnosed with an autism spectrum disorder may not be included in the classroom. Why is this important? This is important because all students should be able to learn and grow within the classroom. Students should not be excluded from activities due to their low social skills. Teachers should implement strategies within the classroom to help enhance the social skills of students who are diagnosed with autism. I am concerned that students who have autism are not having the opportunity to enhance their social skills in the classroom, therefore they're not being included. My core values regarding this topic involve equity. I believe that all students should be included within the classroom and should be able to learn and grow regardless of their abilities. In regards to commitment, teachers need to be committed to helping each student succeed within the classroom. Teachers need to create a safe and positive environment where all students can learn, and both the educator and the students should be able to learn and grow in the classroom. The teacher should constantly be reviewing resources and collaborating with colleagues to enhance their knowledge and learning in order to strengthen their teaching practice. My research question is, how can I modify my teaching methods to enhance social skills of a kindergarten student who is diagnosed with an autism spectrum disorder and included in a mainstream classroom? Some relevant terms that you may need to know. Inclusion. Inclusion is a way of thinking and acting that demonstrates universal acceptance and promotes a sense of belonging for all learners. Social skills, the skills that we need to interact adaptively in our cultural environment. Social skills can range from the ability to greet others, maintain and end a conversation, read social signals, problem solve and resolve conflict. Multiple exceptionalities is a combination of learning or other disorders, impairments, or physical disabilities that require the service of one or more teachers holding qualifications in special education. Autism spectrum disorder is a complex developmental condition that involves persistent challenges in social interaction, speech and nonverbal communication, and restricted repetitive behaviors. Mainstream classroom is the bringing together of general and special education so that students from both settings and programs can learn, work, and play together. With the Universal Design for Learning, it's a framework to improve and optimize teaching and learning for all people based on scientific insights into how humans can learn. I researched different strategies that could be implemented in the classroom to enhance the social skills of a student diagnosed with autism. Many authors had a common goal, which was to enhance the social skills of a student with autism in kindergarten. However, each author approached the questions differently. Based on the literature, I have learned that social stories can enhance positive social skills and decrease negative social behavior. Both social stories and role-playing can be implemented within the classroom to enhance social skills. The authors were unsure which method was successful. However, for the purpose of my research plan, I could implement both social stories and role-playing into the classroom. Another article discussed the use of buddy systems. To enhance the social skills of students, the authors implemented a buddy system in which the class had to pair with a buddy. The students had to stay with their buddy, play with their buddy, and talk with their buddy. This process would happen every day. The results showed that the implementation of the buddy system could enhance the social skills of all students as it incorporates a universal design for learning. More research suggested that the use of peer tutoring and play could enhance the level of social interaction between students. This research showed how teachers could implement strategies that may not work at first, as teachers need to constantly adapt strategies to fit students' needs. This study looked at the impact of peer tutoring with and without play on students' social skills. Results showed that by incorporating play into peer tutoring activities, students' level of interaction increased. For my research action plan, I want to implement a peer tutoring with play strategy inside kindergarten classrooms. This will occur at one school, however, it will be implemented in multiple kindergarten classrooms within the school. For data sources, anecdotal records, I will fill out anecdotal records based on students' interaction during the activity and throughout the day. Teachers will take notes on the student's behavior and level of interaction. The teacher is looking to see if the student is socializing during the activity and even after the activity. With regards to photo documentation, this occurs daily in kindergarten classrooms. The teacher will take photos of the students interacting with others in the class in order to document information. Video recordings will also be used to observe the students' interaction during free play. The video captures what this teacher is unable to see and allows the teacher to look back at the photos and videos to make notes. For checklists, checklists will be used to track students' progress in terms of enhancing their social skills. I would create my own checklists, which include information such as, is the student sharing materials, is the student interacting with others, etc. The checklist will be used for qualitative and quantitative data. The checklist will assess how many times a student socializes with others, and the teacher can look back at the checklist to determine the student's progress. In regards to team meetings, the plan will be implemented in multiple kindergarten classrooms, so the teachers of each classroom will meet to discuss their observations and discuss how they have implemented the strategy within the classroom. Collaborating with colleagues leads to ongoing professional learning. In terms of triangulation, teachers will observe the students' interactions and conversations with other peers. Different data sources will be used to ensure triangulation, such as anecdotal records, checklists, and video recordings. Checklists will incorporate qualitative and quantitative data. In regards to validity, I will make sure that language problems are not too hard. If they are too hard, the students will not engage in the activity with their peers. I'll also make sure that the activity incorporates play so that students are learning to interact with others. This will prepare students to continue to interact after the activity, and the checklist will accurately measure the student's level of interaction with others. For reliability, the study will happen multiple times to ensure reliability. The same 4 students within the classroom will work with the student diagnosed with autism. Each student will be aware of the process. The peer tutoring session will happen at the same time during Block 2 so that students are aware of the routine. The plan will be implemented in multiple kindergarten classrooms, which also ensures reliability, and teachers will be trained on how to implement the strategy. In regards to participants and setting, the setting will take place in the classroom. With the participants, students will be involved, even the 4 students that I talked about in the previous slide. Teachers will also be involved. Teachers, early childhood educators, educational assistants will all collect data. In terms of the team meetings, colleagues from the kindergarten team will be involved as they will compare and combine data. And parents will also be involved because we need to ask for their permission. In regards to ethical considerations, information will remain confidential. We will inform parents of the study, ask parents' permission for children to participate in the study. Only the teacher will have access to the information. No names will be recorded, and students can withdraw from the study at any time with no consequences, and the data will be erased after 1 year. For anecdotal records, for a timeline, this will occur weekly, so 3 times a week from October to February. The photo documentation and video recordings will be once a week from October to February. Checklists will be once every 2 weeks, and the team meeting agenda, the kindergarten team will meet at the end of each month, starting in October and ending in February. In regards to data analysis, for the anecdotal records will be coded and transferred onto a software program called NVivo. This program analyzes qualitative data. This program will place information into graphs such as line graphs. I will be able to analyze the line graph by determining if the data is increasing, decreasing, or staying the same. The data will tell me if the student diagnosed with autism is interacting with more peers within the classroom. In regards to photos and videos, the teacher will fill out anecdotal records to go along with the photos and the videos. These anecdotal records will then be coded and uploaded to NVivo as well in order to analyze the qualitative data. Photos will also be displayed on a timeline to show the student's growth or progress. The photos will be separated into 2 categories, which include repeating patterns and growing patterns. While these categories are placed on the timeline, the teachers will be able to analyze the data and determine if repeating patterns or growing patterns are increasing or decreasing. With checklists, all data from checklists will be transferred onto a spreadsheet and analyzed using SPSS. SPSS is a tool that helps to analyze quantitative data. SPSS will display the information in charts and graphs, especially line graphs. I will then be able to look for patterns in the data based on the graphs. The graphs will provide me with a statement of the findings, which will allow me to analyze the study to determine if implementing peer tutoring with play is successful or not. With the team meetings, individuals will code their own data and will bring information to the team meeting. The team will compare all of their data and determine similarities and differences. The data will then be analyzed through the software program called SPSS. Teachers can analyze the data to see if the peer tutoring with play strategy is working in all of the classrooms. In terms of my closing slide and the importance of the action research plan, ultimately designing this action research will have a positive impact on my teaching practice, as I will be able to implement what I have learned throughout my action research study into my classrooms. Designing an action research plan has allowed me to gain further information on how peer tutoring can be used inside a kindergarten classroom with the hopes of increasing students' social skills. This research will make me a more inclusive educator and allow me to create an environment that encourages all students to learn and grow. My action research plan allows me to answer my research question and provide possible solutions solutions to my problem statement. In my problem statement, I mentioned how teachers may not focus on student-specific needs within the classroom, such as social skills. As a result, not all students are being included within the classroom, especially students diagnosed with autism. It is important to include all students within the classroom so that all students can learn and grow. Students should not be excluded due to an exceptionality. Participating in my action research study encourages teachers to reflect on their teaching practices and learn about different strategies that can be implemented into the classroom to ensure that all students' needs are being met. Participating in action research will always have an influence on my teaching practices, as it encourages teachers to reflect on their work, and reflecting encourages professional learning and growth. In regards to an annotated bibliography, as mentioned before, I researched different strategies to implement within the classroom. The first article examined social stories. They examined the effects that social stories have on learning in relation to social skills. Social stories were used to increase positive social skills and decrease negative social behavior, but as mentioned before, they were unsure if the social stories or the role-playing was what implemented or allowed the students to increase the positive social skills. However, for my project, I can implement both. The second article examined the effects of using multiple peers as tutors to enhance the social skills of students with autism spectrum disorder in kindergarten. They came to the conclusion that classes that incorporate the buddy system significantly enhance the social skills of all students because it incorporates a universal design for learning. The third article, which is the article that I based my action research plan off of, incorporated play into peer tutoring activities in order to increase the level of social interaction between students. The results showed that incorporating play into peer tutoring activities increases the level of social interaction between students. Implementing peer tutoring with play in the kindergarten classroom can enhance social skills of a student diagnosed with an autism spectrum disorder. They first looked at the results of just peer tutoring, and that didn't have much of an impact on the students' level of social interaction, but once they implemented play into the activities, they found that it drastically increased the students' level of social interaction during the activity, as well as during 20 minutes of free choice afterwards. The student continued to engage in social interaction, and that is what this graph is showing, that after they're implementing peer tutoring and the common stimuli, which is play, the student's social interaction with his peer drastically increased. These are the references that I used throughout my presentation. Thank you for listening.